Hey there, welcome to Thesis in 3 weeks, day 8. So this is the beginning of your second week. You've already finished your first week. Hopefully you're in the groove now, in a nice rhythm where you've got a couple hours maybe in the morning, a couple hours in the evening when you're working on your thesis, and you take some time in between to eat, take a nap, go to some other class, work, do something different. But this idea that you're picking up and putting down this information and then revisiting it within a short frame of time is going to help you know your topic better and hopefully make the writing much easier. I mean, the name of this channel is It Could Write Itself, and that's exactly what could happen if you've done your research and you follow a roadmap. So today you're going to begin drafting your results section. So you're going to start with the most general theme or independent variable and tackle that first. So what you want to do as you're writing this out is make sure that you just pick a heading or whatever heading you choose. Make sure that you pick one that you can just write. And you want to resist the urge to summarize information. You don't want to summarize anything. I alluded to this yesterday. But you want to use good writing habits to compare and contrast multiple articles and resources related to each independent variable. So if you're doing, for example, a systematic review in healthcare, you might start with the demographics of patients in the various studies that you were analyzing. And so let's just stick with that for a moment and say, all right, well, what's the range of enrollment across the different studies? Maybe the enrollment in this type of study ranged from 10 patients to 2,000 patients. And so you want to start with the enrollment ranged from 10 to 2,000 patients, insert citations, right? So you're talking about the studies. You don't need to start averaging the number of patients so much, but you want to look at perhaps other factors that might be related to outcomes of the study. So in the demographics, did some of the studies skew much older than others? Were there single-sex studies or mixed studies where they were not quite balanced? What about race of participants? Did some studies have more dropouts? So these are all factors that would influence the outcome, and you want to look at that in just under the subheading of participants, let's say. So that's fairly easy to write up. Just don't try and quant it up, but make sure that you're covering all the studies themselves. So it kind of helps to have your summary table, have a picture of that open near where you're writing so you can look back at the studies that you're analyzing, because those are the only resources you're going to reference in your results section. Anything you reference in results has to be in that summary table in your appendix. Now here are some helpful writing hints, and this really is for anything. Never start a sentence or a paragraph with the citation. It makes it really hard to use a citation manager, so that forces your good habits. But you don't want to say, according to Cowan, 2018, blah, blah, blah. You're just summarizing something. So you really want to compare and contrast. Also, don't write a whole paragraph and put all the citations at the end. I used to see this all the time and actually had students come from a writing center once that would do that. You want to make sure when you're referencing a study, you're putting the citation in the text itself. It looks a little interruptive, but that's exactly what you want to do. Put it in the text so that your reader knows where the information is coming from. Funnel. Biggest hint, write a declarative sentence and then support it with cited material. And you can even funnel a paragraph by writing a declarative sentence, then explain a little bit more about it, and then when you're comparing and contrasting the different studies, that's the middle of the paragraph, and tie up that paragraph at the end to conclude whatever you're concluding from that. And so really the whole paper is like a big funnel, but different sections can be a funnel as well. Do not include quotations unless you're doing qualitative research and interviews and it's your own original work, but you don't want to quote studies at all. You should be writing in your own words, and also don't plagiarize. So you want to look at something that you're extracting from an article and say it in your own words, always. And then write, don't edit yet. So don't edit and write. And it's a really bad habit I have of editing while I'm trying to write. It just takes forever and I end up driving myself crazy. So just write. Focus on the writing. You can move content around later. And then finish your day by drafting a second section of your results. You start with the general theme, independent variable, pick something else, draft another section. And so it really does help to just write what you can see, and you can move things around later. So 2 sections of your results today, and that's how we're going to start our second week. Hope all goes well. See you tomorrow.